Yeah, welcome to Coffee and Cannabis. I'm your host, Alyza, and this is...
Corey, what up?
And today's guest is Mr. Tom, and he is from Mount Holly. His dispensary is about to be opening, Fire and Oak. Please give it up to him. So, before we get into this, Tom,
all right, what you got?
we're going to have to talk about our coffee and our weed. So, you guys already know, we in the trenches, we at home. It's a new year, it's a new season, and bodega, gang, gang. What we smoking on, babe?
We like gifts. Keep telling you, motherfuckers, stop coming up here without gifts. Tom brought gifts.
He did.
He brought back that white gummies from Cali. He had it in a little knapsack. I appreciate it. I respect it. You know what I mean? I didn't ask him how he got it here. But he got that thing. He brought gifts, and some of y'all need to learn from Tom. Have some manners. Show some respect.
You guys know what this was testing at? Because this tastes kind of good.
That's in the 20s. It's fire.
All right. Well,
Yeah, nah,
It's smooth. That's sharp.
yeah. And, yeah, I know I actually have Tom on the healthy wave because I'm on my new vibe, camo.
I'm a vibe.
Zigzag.
I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah,
vibe.
y'all know I love you deep down, but this camo is, yeah. I mean, I can't give them too much plug because I don't really know who they are, but
And we don't got no business with them.
just a small shout out for my personal self. But
smoke this blunt first, and we'll figure it out.
let's get into it. Tom,
Good.
welcome.
Thank y'all for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming all the way over here to Jersey City. We appreciate you.
You know, definitely glad to make the drive out.
So, listen, I know your dispensary is going to be opening pretty soon. You actually have your soft opening tomorrow, and then Saturday is the big day, right?
Yeah, coming up. Been a little bit of a journey, but finally here. A couple years in the making, so definitely excited about that. But
That's dope.
as you know, it's quite the journey just to get to this point. So.
Yeah, that has to be such an incredible feeling to, like, know that you're finally here.
It is. It's like a sense of relief, but on the other end, you're like, okay, this is like to some in like a lot of respects is actually just the beginning. Now
That
you
is
actually
facts.
gotta like operate
Now you got to do
successful
it.
business. You actually
Facts.
gotta like, make some money.
Now, before we talk about your dispensary, everything that's going to be going on with it, I know that you are a social equity applicant. This is good.
All right, I'm glad you like it.
Callie, oh my goodness.
Hey.
I know you're a social equity applicant, right? And I know people are watching this. They're probably like,
How?
what did you just say? How is this white boy a social equity applicant?
He's not secretly Cuban or nothing.
No,
You
he
never
is
know.
not. But I want you to share some of your backstory with me. Like,
Yeah,
how did that come
so-
about? What happened?
Definitely.
How'd you get into weed? Give me all the good.
Got you. So, grew up in Franklin in Somerset County, super diverse place in every sense of the word, like socioeconomically, religiously, culturally, ethnically, racially. I mean, I always say like I went to high school with Crips, dairy farmers, doctors and lawyers' kids,
shit.
like literally ran the gamut, people that barely had a, bed to sleep in, people that were like millionaires. So, ran the gamut, and parents are both from pretty diverse backgrounds. My mom's from like Trenton. My dad's from rural North Carolina. So
Okay.
I'm kind of a fusion of both of those. And, when I was like in high school, found cannabis, and there were so many things that just appealed to me about it. Like, all right, yeah, I mean, getting high, okay. But just like the business aspect of it, the fact that it did seem to bring so many people together. Like I say, coming from a town that was so diverse, and to see so many people kind of be able to, I don't know, like, make it out more than it is, but kind of unite us, like, have a bunch of people in a safe, like from
Right.
all walks of
It's
life.
like
just smoking a
camaraderie.
blunt, and like, it was peaceful, it was chill, brought a lot of people together. And then I'm kind of interested in agriculture, so there was that aspect of it. And then, started selling weed in college, and that was kind of addicting. I was probably more addicted, like, just
Selling the weed.
to selling weed, trying to
Than
like
doing your
chase
schoolwork.
the bag. Yeah, for sure. And did that for a while, and just ran in, was running in the wrong crowds, dealing with the wrong people, and was living off campus, and we got held up at gunpoint. Someone broke in our house, and yeah, and so dudes.
How much weed was you selling?
Dudes ran up in the crib, fucking held us up at gunpoint. Remember all the details and everything, and so whatever, they took our weed, took some money, took like laptops and and any like shit of value, and get my blunts out. So anyway, my roommate, one of my best friends at the time, his parents were like, "Oh, I want to call the cops, like report my laptop stolen, report the kid's laptop stolen." And actually, back up a second. As soon as that happened, I went to like my plug's house because he had essentially fronted me some shit, and he also, it's a weird relationship. But anyway, he went there, tried to give money just to give to my friend for the laptop, and whatever, wasn't able to get it to him. Anyway, his parents were like, "All right, let's call the cops just to report the shit stolen." And we didn't know anything. They come down to the house, check out, and the place was like a shit show, and see like scales and baggies, whatever, and arrested us for paraphernalia.
Wait,
and,
what?
Like, our parents were both there, and just like these cops come in there looking like, "Oh, I see what happened," blah blah blah, and take us down. Like, we didn't know what the fuck was going on. So that ended up actually not even really being, like I said, they didn't really have anything to charge us with, because there was no weed, there was no money because they took it all, but there was paraphernalia. So that shit just just got drawn out, whatever. They ended up bringing it down to like municipal court, whatever. It ended up being nothing.
Oh, so you didn't get anything really for it.
So then fast forward, a couple years later, you kind of still like, hey,
got away with it.
I want to still keep doing this.
Oh, so you was like, let me keep.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Continuing
And it was crazy. I mean,
it was big trap Tom. Act like y'all know.
Nah, not even. But yeah, and it just kind of, believe me, it changed my life like crazy. Like, even that first occurrence actually had a bigger impact on my life negatively than the second one, which I got in way more legal trouble.
The first one,
enough. Yeah.
You mean being held at gunpoint?
Yeah, not even being held at gunpoint, but just that interaction with law enforcement, that like charge, and like you didn't know what was gonna happen. Like I didn't know shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know the legal system like that. But yeah, so like I said, it ended up being nothing because they didn't really have anything on us. There was no weed, no money, no one But anyway, so fast forward a couple years, I was still selling weed in college, and I was down in Atlantic City. And it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and just going to bed. It's like Atlantic City or whatever. And I get all these calls. I'm like, what the fuck? Who the hell is calling me? It's like a bunch of random numbers, and my mom calls me. I'm like, fuck. And she's like, Thomas, there's a detective in your room. I was like, fuck. My heart just sank. I was like, fuck, I'm fucked. So, yeah, basically, I guess somehow someone, I don't know what happened. I'm not.
Somebody snitched.
I ain't casting blame on nobody.
So they raided your house?
Yeah, my college apartment, and I guess they had my mom's number, called her. Like, I wasn't there because I was in Atlantic City.
Because he was trapping big weight.
Nah, not even. That's a
Yeah, AC trap weight. Yo.
I know, I was about to say, were you down in AC making some
Yo,
Nah.
he was at AC.
Not even.
Roadside of the fight with a mink on.
That's the
looking like Frank Lucas and shit.
I wish. Not even. Believe me, that's the crazy thing about it. Like, in retrospect, like that's the craziest part about it is like I purposely did not sell more than a certain amount because I knew the New Jersey laws, and I was like, I know that if I go above this threshold, I'm in like a
felony territory.
Well, I was already in felony territory, but I was like,
big weight.
Yeah, I didn't want to go above this. So anyway, like fast forward, we drive back to New Brunswick, and the whole time I knew, like, I was like, fuck, I'm fucked. So yeah, it was just awkward, right? Like, your door is like bashed in and shit, and like I roll up and there's like 10 guys. I walk in my apartment, no one's there, and then 10 cops just like all come up and like arrest me, take me, whatever. And so it was
on campus?
Off campus, like I was off campus housing,
okay.
And it was it was a 3rd-degree charge, and at that point the other thing just got dropped. Like I said, nothing ever came of it because they didn't have anything. And then so that, you know, like, whatever, I sat in jail, whatever, for whatever it was, like the night or whatever. And then, you know, we got released, ROR. And,
Release on your own recognizance.
yeah. So basically, like, all right, we'll trust you're going to come back for your date. So that shit took a while to, like, figure out how it was going to play out. But, so they have a thing in Jersey called PTI, pretrial intervention. It's pretty much probation. And, so luckily I was able to apply for that. And so that I ended up getting that for 3 years.
So you're on probation for 3 years.
Yeah.
You got a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. So you had to go in, you know, you go in monthly or depends, whatever they want to give, you know, every couple of weeks, whatever your probation officer wants to give you, piss test you or swab you, whatever. And, you know, luckily at that point I was like, all right, I was on the straight and narrow. Like, I mean, I was still smoking a little weed because I kind of figured out like how often they would test me and like still gambling with it a little bit. But yeah, then I was like, all right, well, I actually want to do something with that as a career. So fast forward, like, once I already been on PTI for like a year and a half at this point, I was like, all right, I want to like work in weed. So I told my probation officer, I was like, I got an internship in Cali. She's like, all right, you can go out there. So I went out to Humboldt, and while I was on probation, and I went and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there for a few months, get this, you know, like do this work in Humboldt. Well, I didn't tell her I was working in Humboldt, but I told her I was just staying with my cousin. And so yeah, I worked on a weed farm. That was my first, actually, that was my first entrance into kind of semi-quasi-legal, because at that point it was the medical program in Cali. It was still Prop 215. So that was my first entrance into kind of the semi-legal market, and it was while I was on probation. I came back from there. Luckily, I got lucky, came back, had a cool probation officer, and didn't ask too many questions. I didn't didn't say too much, and was on that for another however long. Got off it, and then, yeah, went back out to Cali and started getting back into the industry, and
So this is all you've ever done?
yeah, really, like, pretty much since I graduated, I took a little long route.
Yeah, I was about to ask what happened with school.
So, yeah, I ended up graduating, but I took time off when the first arrest happened. Because, like I said, even though nothing really happened with that, it was super...
It was like
you know,
traumatizing.
like, yeah, like I didn't, you know, you didn't know what was going to happen, and it takes forever for the legal process to play out. So you're like in purgatory forever. You're like, what the fuck is going to happen?
Living life with anxiety.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. But, so yeah, and then as soon as I graduated, I was like, look, I'm going to go out to Cali, merge my interests in like weed, business. My degree was in environmental policy and econ, but I had studied ag stuff, merge all these interests. And it just so happened that was right as Cali legalized rec. So I went out there. After I worked in Humboldt, I moved down to LA and got a job at like an environmental consulting firm. And like I said, it was just right after they turned rec there, and we were all working with the same state agencies that you had to work with to get your cannabis license. So I go to the owner, it's a small firm, and I was like, fuck, do I really want to like ask this, like, you know, the CEO, like, you know, I just got this job, like, I need this shit, but whatever, I'm just going to ask her, like, you know, so I was like, yeah, can we work with weed businesses and like put together a whole little proposal and shit for her? She's like, yeah, sure, you can get clients. So, did that, and it was actually super successful. I shout out LinkedIn, met some people through LinkedIn that got me in touch with a group of guys. So I went on to help start a business within Cali. Got them the second license in San Diego. I never filled out a conditional use permit in my life or done any of this work, and then I was like, fuck, I'm telling this woman I'm gonna do it, and like ended up doing it. We got the second issued one in the state. I'm sorry, not the state, the city of San Diego. And those dudes liked me. They were a little bit older than me, but you know, we became friends. Worked briefly with Corey at MedMen. For like literally came in there for a cup of coffee. Like I was there for a couple months, and I knew that I wanted to work with these guys. So I quit to try to do something in Jersey back when they opened their 2018-19 like RFP or whatever, and weren't success. We ended up doing that. So I went back to Cali to help them start up shit out there, and then throughout 19, 20, 21, we opened up farms out there and distribution. And then in 2021, we had like 40-some acres of canopy. We're probably the third largest cultivator in Cali. In 21, but it was like a sinking ship. It was, you know, a lot of like the whole typical, like everyone thinks going to be Pablo Escobar. A lot of people made money on the traditional side, you know, dumped it into that, and, you know, unreasonable
Lost.
expectations and just stupid shit and party and bullshit. And it's like, no, you actually got to run a fucking business. So like I knew that, and I saw that coming, and I was like, I'm coming back to Jersey. Like Jersey was coming online. I'm like, let's do something in Jersey. And then I met I knew him already, but partnered up with my current business partner, Ed Lineski, who's been great and been a great partner for me, and we're here now.
That's dope, man. But I still have questions about your mom.
Yeah, no, she's been great.
What does your mom say after all that shit?
Yeah, so here's the crazy part about it too. So she's actually was referred to. She works in the school district, and she's like a therapist by profession, and she's something that I think it's called like she's retired now, but like a student assistance coordinator or whatever. And they're known. They have like the nickname is like the drug counselor, but they do a lot of programs for like at-risk youth, and like run programs for drug programs, people that have issues with mental health, whatever, a whole assortment of programs throughout the district. So yeah, it was definitely super challenging on her, right? Like the fucking drug counselor's kid is like getting arrested for selling weed and shit, and yeah, no, it was super like, yeah, I feel bad, like, you know, I yeah, definitely put my parents through a lot, mainly my mom. My dad's, you know, was a little bit like didn't really care as much and whatever.
How do you feel now, though?
How do I feel now?
How does she feel?
No, she's been great. Like I said, she supported me financially. She supported my dreams to like go out there and get involved in cannabis. I gotta say, my parents been super supportive, even with all this shit happening, like getting arrested a couple times. I mean, they weren't happy about that, and they obviously were like not cool with me selling weed, but they did understand. Like at this point, the first time I got arrested was 2012. So like some states had already, I think at that point, Colorado had already legalized, and like Washington. So
it was a real thing.
The tide
already.
was turning. Like it was a real thing, exactly. So they kind of saw it, and they knew that like who I am as a person, and like I was serious about it. And when I say I'm serious about something, like, you know, it's not just about smoking weed. Like, yeah, I like to smoke weed. I mean, I don't smoke nearly as much now as I did at one point, but
yeah, but you said you're still into agriculture. And
I mean, there's a lot of things. Like I said,
it
it merged a lot of things I was interested in. The policy aspect, having been arrested a couple times, hadn't seen it negatively affect all types of people, particularly Black and brown communities. You know, I saw that so I liked it from the policy side to be able to be on the forefront of like change there. Also, like I said, the business side, the agriculture side, the culture side. So it just brought a lot of things I was interested in together, and I was like, why not do this? So yeah, my parents though have been really supportive. My mom's lent me money here and there, and yeah, I mean, they're super supportive, so I give them a lot of credit, and, you know, definitely, yeah, particularly my mom, she's been really helpful.
Super dope.
See, you walking around here, big trapper Tom.
Nah, dude, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Y'all don't even know. Y'all didn't know that Tom was big trapping.
I didn't even say all that, but yeah, you know.
Caught a case, slipped it, you know what I'm saying? Left town, went across the country.
Yeah.
Set up a new trap. Big money.
Nah, not even, but.
Well dried up, came home.
You saw how Corey made that sound like so.
Yeah.
How he just amplified
but so here's the thing.
It's Thomas Escobar.
You're talking about big trapping. All right, guess how much they found when they raided my apartment?
You was in your young 20s, college. 10 pounds? 5 pounds?
Nah, not even close. No, I had literally, this is the thing that made me so mad. I had 12 ounces and no money.
Oh, really?
12 ounces and no money. Like I was picking up like a pound. Like
at a time, yeah.
You know, like I wasn't even anything crazy.
Yeah. It was college. It was the
exactly.
college weed
and
guy.
The crazy thing is, like every other fucking house on the street was probably doing the same thing.
Oh shit! Right around that time, I was selling. Well, I had just graduated, so I was selling weed at Rutgers too.
Exactly. So
I was about to ask, how did you end up finishing school? They didn't kick you out?
No, it was all off campus. So like it
had nothing to do with school.
It had nothing to do with school. I never got none. Like I said, I took a semester off, and you know, that was like after the first time, and I did go to like some. My parents were like, "Yo, you got to do something. Like, figure your shit out." Like, sent me to like counseling programs and shit, and went back, whatever. And yeah, after like the second time, I didn't take any time off. Actually happened right at the end of the spring semester, so I had like the summer to like
to get your shit
kinda,
right.
like get my shit in order and like figure things out. And
But you did
it took
finish
a while
school
to
and
start.
stuff.
Yeah, no, ended up finishing school. I wanted to do that. So yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Wow. So all
And that's how Tom's a social equity applicant.
there you go.
Because he's a trapper.
There you have it. No, that's great. It's a happy ending. It is
Well,
really a happy ending.
It's pretty.
You're opening your tomorrow.
Exactly. Right,
You're
right,
opening
right.
your
So,
own spot.
shit comes full circle. I mean, I think it's like, I mean, you guys both know this. Like, there's so much work that goes into it, and it's just staying committed to that. And like, you know, we come across so many people that just think it's like, all right, you know, flash in the pan. Like, oh, I'm gonna open a weed dispensary, or like,
All right, we'll see you in 2.5, yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, like, all right.
I'll catch you in 2.5 when you get it.
Yeah.
So I want to know, Fire and Oak,
Okay.
it's opening soon. As a social equity applicant, now you may not be a person of color, but you still know what it feels like to be criminally charged for this plant. What does your dispensary intend to do to give back to those that are impacted from the war on drugs?
Look, I mean, that's a really good question. I think first and foremost, it starts with really engaging with those type of people, and really bringing people in, trying to employ them as best as possible. I think that's probably the best thing you can do, right? Give people opportunity. I mean, I think that's what most people want, or hopefully that's what you want for yourself, is to better yourself. And really, so definitely start with that, employment, and then, hey, we're definitely looking to give back. I mean,
Well, y'all are already involved in stuff in the community.
yeah,
You
we do a
moved
bunch
down
of
there.
shit in the community, not necessarily specifically targeted to social equity stuff, but just like at-risk youth, young kids. Like, we did a thing. Obviously, of course, there's always like a weird crossover with cannabis too, right? Because like it's a delicate balance. But we worked with another local business who we've come to know real well, Kitchen 87. Found in Mount Holly. Check them out for breakfast or lunch. But anyway, yeah, we did some stuff with them to try to put. They do a toy drive every year, and they also auction off baskets at a few different breweries in the area, and do to support kids and to provide kids with presents that otherwise wouldn't have had them. So we donated a basket for each of them, and then toys, and helped with them. I mean, Mello at Kitchen does a great job there, and really giving back. But I mean, I think the other thing starts with like, it's great when a lot of people say like, we're gonna do this and allocate X amount of profits to this or do that, and like, that's great and all, but like, having been in this industry and knowing it, I know like you know this, Corey knows this, like, first you gotta be able to actually make a profit in order for you to give anything back.
Yep.
Because if not, you're giving investors money, which, hey, I don't got a problem with it, but like, I mean, hey, we're self-funded. I mean, shout out my partner Ed, he's really, pretty much funded everything. I've put some money in here and there, but so yeah, I think it starts with that. Like, I was always kind of taught, like, charity starts first at home. You got to be able to support yourself first, because if you can't, then you're reliant on other people, and then you become the person that is really in need. So hey, look, I want nothing more than to be able to make some money to be able to give back. I mean, I'm still at the point like before, like, yeah, it's exciting and everything, but I'm still like, it's still in struggle mode. Like, we still, like, I'm still trying to, like, it's like we're just opening up. Like, I'm still trying to, like, put food on my table. Like, as dramatic as that sounds, but just like,
well, you quit.
Like,
you quit your job to move down there to get this going. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I quit a job, a good job, really good job. I had a pretty good boss, and but yeah, I quit a job and like to do this, and it's like, shit. Like, I'm just trying to pay rent.
Yep.
Like, I'm just trying to, make it myself. But definitely, like, as we progress, I mean, nothing more than to support people I mean, especially too, like, home grow. I think it's a really big thing. Give people the power to do that. So just trying to do things like that. Like I say, no grand plans. Maybe I should have them. But like I said, I mean, I'm worried about just trying to be able to pay back the money that we've invested in, because it's not my money, and I do take that seriously, right? Like,
right.
And I know that that's got to come first, and then shit, I would love nothing more. And then also working with other social equity applicants is a big thing for us. We have another social equity applicant that's a cultivator and manufacturer in Mount Holly, diversity owned business, social equity business. Really trying to do as much as we can to work with him. Gotten to know him pretty well over the last year and trying to work with him, make sure we feature his products in the store, give them special spot in the store to really showcase what they're doing, who they are, and get people to buy into what they're doing. So, I mean, I think it starts with like small organic things and really just helping people achieve their own dreams through helping them out.
Yeah.
Simple as it sounds. I mean, like I say, no.
It's grassroots. No
I'd like
affiliation.
to be able to say I'm gonna donate, $100,000 here, whatever. But like, shit, I ain't even got $100,000 to donate. Like,
no, I think it is important to speak to that, because that is happening so much. Like, I went to so many of these boards, and the way that people overcommit
exactly
just to convince people is ridiculous.
Exactly.
And it's, I mean, obviously outside of being very performative because they want something, but it's just like, it's not realistic. And again, they don't even know how much they're going to make, right? Us in particular, we're in Jersey City. There are so many licenses that have been given out at this point.
Same in Mount Holly relative to the
size-wise, same, yeah.
You could have projections all day, but until you open those doors and you see what that's looking like,
100%.
So I do think that it's really, really important for us to be conscious about that and to definitely have sort of, I mean, I think we have more of like really a mission-driven company, but even if that's not the case, just to have good CSR and be doing the work. But to be doing the most, some people, they go to these boards and they like list like 10 charities that they're giving to, and I'm like,
to your point, it's
why?
performative and like, it's just not realistic. And like I said, the only way you're doing that early on is if you're taking investor money and giving it directly to the charities.
Yeah.
The business is not, I don't care what business you're running, like what cannabis business, you're not early on going to be like, okay, I have a shit ton of money, I'm flush with cash, let me donate $5,000 here, $10,000 here. Like, no, you're taking investor money to do that, which, hey, maybe there's nothing wrong with that if you got a super high net worth individual, but like, to y'all's credit, right? You were able to raise money from private investors, single people, like mom and pop investors. So unless you're asking them to dish out money for you to then donate on the business's behalf, like, yeah, you could do that, but
yeah, but nobody want to see see that in that quarterly deck.
Exactly.
Like, hold up, you didn't pay me back my dividends, but
you didn't pay me
but
back
you
my
giving away money.
Right. It's like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, look, like maybe they're cool with that, but you just need to be upfront with.
But I think it's more of just like the amount. Like some people, they just think they're gonna make so much money that they just throw out these crazy numbers.
Right.
But then also the political officials
can't live up to it.
Yeah, and then you can't live up to it. Or
then they're like, oh, what about these commitments you made? Da da da. So that's been one of our things is like to really and throughout the business, whatever it is under promise and over deliver. Like whether it's having reasonable expectations, whatever. Our community involvement. I mean, back to that, like our whole thing and our marketing is everything is geared towards the community. Like you see so many dispensaries and stuff that they have one shop in New Jersey, but they're marketing statewide. I'm like, why are you spending marketing dollars? I'm in Mount Holly. I don't need to be marketing to y'all in Jersey City. Like, that's great, but like y'all are not my customer. Like I know that my customer either lives or works within a 3 to 5 mile radius of my shop.
Yep.
Generally speaking. So
remember I told you about the mailers that I sent out?
Right. So
the mailers are like within a couple blocks.
So to that point, like in Mount Holly, what we're trying to do is spend a lot of our advertising, marketing dollars with the local charities. One thing that they're trying to do is build up local businesses.
Okay.
So that's
to
one
support
thing
local movement. Yeah.
Right. Support local small businesses. That's one big push for us is really driving that. Like I say, working with other businesses, collaborate, cross promote.
Yeah.
And then giving people opportunity. Like I said, I think that's big on like the whole social equity thing, whatever, is like maybe this is like a very like, but I'd rather give someone the opportunity and give them the skills. Like, hey, let me promote from within, give you an opportunity, give you open doors for you. I mean, similar to like how, I've been lucky enough to have work with Corey and, similar type thing, right?
Just so everybody knows, we worked the second time together after MedMed. That's what we talk about in Jersey. So,
So I think like to me like that's way greater than any monetary gift. I'm gonna give you $5 grand. You're gonna blow that in a month or 2 months. Like, you know,
Agreed.
and even in charities, like yeah, sure, that's great. But I'd rather be able to give you something that's sustainable that you're gonna keep with you for your lifetime, whether that's educational like knowledge, whether it's a skill set that you're gonna learn, whether it's employment that's gonna lead to something greater down the road. So yeah.
I'll say one thing, and this is to relate the two of you. Y'all two, knowing you both and have worked in different capacities with you both, y'all are the two most, I'm going to go read something, watch something, and do it myself people I've ever met. Like, that's one thing about Tom. Tom was like, hold up, so we got to do what? Tom come back, he's like, yeah, I did it myself. You know, and that's how Alyza will talk about something one day, the next morning, she's like, I wrote it out already. It's like, yo, when did you go to sleep? It was like, she was like, nah, I looked up how to do it, didn't seem that hard, wrote it up myself. But yo, Tom was like that. Tom, y'all were trying to, we were at MJ BizCom, and you were talking about something you were trying to learn, you learned to do it yourself, and it got to the point where it was just like, you got to pay other people to do this.
I forget what it was, but I do remember having this conversation. Of course, we were probably.
Was it, T-shirt printing or something like that?
Oh, well, we bought like a screen printer so that we can.
He was gonna make the shirt. He was like, "Fuck this merch shit. We gonna make this shirt ourselves."
Yeah, so we were like, you know, but hey, to that point, it's just a matter of like the reason why I think so many people, and it's like cliche, but like the people that go places and do something is because they have the drive, they have the ambition,
willing
and they
to
have
do it themselves. Yeah.
Like so many people just sit on their couch like, I want to do this, I want to do this, but like, shit, even Alyza is a way better example than me, but like with multiple businesses and doing like it's just a matter of putting one foot in front of the other and doing it. Like
yeah,
I didn't come from like even with the dispensary, right? Like my parents did not give me money to start a dispensary. I didn't have like, oh hey, mom, dad, or not a trust fund kid by any means.
You
like,
didn't get the whole nepotism. But it's just
I grew up well, my parents educated, whatever, but we didn't have like
throwaway money.
Yeah, you wasn't born.
It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So like even that, most people would be like, oh, well, I don't have the money to do it. And of course, you realize that like where there's a will, there's a way. And
yeah, like shit. When you were working for me at another MSO, it was always from the gate. It was like, yo, we got these licenses. I'm working for however long until this shit is about to open, and I can stack my bread. And it was just like very clear directive, like. My shit open in 6 months. I'm working 5. I'm stacking this bread, And then sometimes, when people walking out the door, leaving the company, they make sure they put this paper in, raise for this person, bump that, let them get that bread a couple more. Hey, that's how you got to take care of home, yo. You got to take care of the people.
One hand washes the other. Look, I mean, that's what's all about. I don't have anything bad to say about former employers. Like, it is,
It's just business.
It's
It's business, yeah.
Nothing wrong with them, but.
That's why I knew Alyza was crazy. When we were talking about the construction job and we're talking about different stuff, like, oh, we got to do this, we got to get this. And she was like, nah, I got a GC license. It's like,
I know,
what?
She told me that.
She was like, yeah, I got a general contractor. Like, it's like, why are you maintaining a general contractor license?
Right.
It's just like, It was the most random shit. Like we're talking about building out a dispensary. She was like, hold up. I got a GC license. I could just be, it's like, y'all don't even know.
Okay.
Y'all don't even know.
Hey.
Y'all don't know.
Amongst 500 other things, like she's killing it over here.
Yo, I'd be surprised if she couldn't like officiate weddings or something. Like she probably got a certification for that. That's the easy one.
Go online and just become a
I know
reverend.
that. Yeah. But you know what I would do is if someone asked me, I would do that.
She'd go get the license. I figure I'd come back the next day. I got it, yo.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Pastor Alyza.
Yeah,
y'all don't even know, man. We got a notary on the team. It's in house up in here.
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
To have things in house, it's just better. You not only save money, but your resources are right within your team. You have to go pay all these people that maybe you don't even know, you don't even trust. I
think that's like
build a good team.
That's like a big part of it. Like, to Corey's point about like going out and doing shit and like whatever, figuring out how to do it. Like, as much as you'll talk to consultants or talk to people like, oh, it costs X money to like start this business, and definitely it is very expensive to start a cannabis business, but it doesn't have to be as expensive as some people make it out to be. Granted, there's so many factors that affect that.
It's what you're willing to do yourself.
And then, of course, exactly, to that point.
Especially the
paperwork. More
shit
that you're willing to do yourself, the lower that cost goes down.
Yep.
So if you're a GC, great. You're gonna save 10%
Listen.
on your construction costs. You're
wrote
gonna
the
write your
application,
application. You're gonna save
Writing
20,
SOPs.
50 grand. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
SOPs, like all that
How
shit.
much is the application saving? What would you estimate?
I don't know. Well, so here's this. I will say this. There's a company out there that's advertising to do Jersey license applications, and I believe I heard, and this was recent, someone told me this, around 40 grand. Sounds pretty crazy, but
It was $4. It was some paper, dog.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
40
for real.
grand.
Yeah,
you know, it's-
shit. Our first rush draft of the build out of the floor plan, I drew that shit up. I was like, hold on, I was right up in here with my tape measure, draw my line, get an I-beam right here.
Exactly.
I'm like, yo, we do our own shit. It's in house over here.
So
yo.
many people get intimidated by shit like that, where they think, like, to Corey's point. I remember the same thing in San Diego. Our first, we got, and mind you, we got the second
license
issue
in the city.
And literally it was some hand drawn bullshit. People were going in there with like some professional ass plans, and eventually you do have to get them. But initially, Rick, we went in there with some bullshit, and we were able to get what we need to get.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a matter of just trying. Worst people are someone to say is no.
Yep.
So you can't be afraid of the no.
Actually, this is. I mean, Happy New Year, right? It's still the
Happy
beginning
New
of the.
Year.
It's still the beginning of the year, and I think that's great energy to kick it off with, because people ask me that kind of stuff all the time, like, how do you do so much, or how do you keep going, or, you know, how do you take L's and not stop? And I listen to a lot of stuff that's like maybe, you know, very motivating or inspiring. You know, maybe people feel that I do that for them, but you know,
Right.
I go seek that out too, right? So like people like
100%.
David Goggins and stuff like that, you know,
Okay, yeah.
and like what you just said, like, first off, you can't be afraid of the no, right? Like, it's not going to kill you. And then I also just feel like your life is like a book of like a story, right?
Yeah.
And when you're, I literally
I lived
feel
a bunch
like,
of them already.
yeah, I live my life like every single year. I seriously look at it like a chapter. And what is
Exactly.
that? What is that story telling? Like, how much do you get of life did you live?
Right.
Anything I want to do, you just got to do it.
For sure. And all these these things sound cliche, but you know why they're cliche? Because they work, and
Right.
people have done them,
Yes.
and they're able to repeat them.
Yep.
Like, you know, like cliche things, as much as they're stupid and people hate on them, a
Yep.
lot of times there's a reason why they're repeated,
Yep,
And
because they work.
they work.
the other thing is, and I know this firsthand, Tom will share whatever with you. Like, and I know you yell at me all the time. It's like, yo, you're giving away too much IP.
Yeah, I charge for everything.
Me and
Tom
Tom,
is nicer than me.
me and Tom got that same element. It was like Tom done sat me down at certain tables. He was working for me in our professional life, and then we was doing some business on the back end on the back end. And he's like, yo, I need you to be at this restaurant at this day at this time, sitting at the table with people, important people. And he's just like Tom, good people. That's one thing, you can't burn bridges. You got to build relationships.
You do have to build.
As much as I'm not a people person, and people that know me know, like, you either in my inner circle or you not, and we don't have many applications. But like, you know, you just treat people with respect. Be kind. Tom's super nice too. He's way nicer than me. But
I know you are so nice.
but you know what I mean. But like,
I try
You
to.
have wonderful energy.
he
Every
builds
time I
good
see you,
relationships,
you
a good
make me
business.
smile.
Aw.
Yeah, you just have such a.
Nah, that's to Corey's
Warmness
point.
about
it's-
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to sound
Nah, you good.
sound
Corey's
gay.
point is,
Stars
I was
and
gonna say, I
moons.
was
Here
gonna
we
say
go.
something. I caught myself and I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, you do sound gay. Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, it's all like life is relationships. Like, it sounds, especially in the cannabis industry, like people want to work with good people that they trust, people that they want to be around, people that they don't dread getting on a call with, and
Yeah.
they don't see their name
That part.
pop up on a phone and they're like, fuck this asshole. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they don't want to deal with that. Like, yeah, maybe your numbers are like a little better, maybe this, that, but it's like, do I dread working with you? And does that make then my work suffer because I don't want to answer your phone? I'm hesitant to reach out to you because I don't want to talk to you. Like,
Yeah, I think
having
that's
a
a
good
big one.
relationship with either the people you know work directly in your business or you know B2B stuff is super important, because those relationships are important to make the business flow, and particularly in this industry, it's big. There's so many people you can work with, so to work with the right ones that don't fuck you over, that don't do stupid shit, that are just easy to work with and have the same goals and ambitions and aspirations as you.
Also, the industry is small.
That's
Yeah.
true
So
too,
like,
yeah.
if
Very
you do
true.
some foul shit in it, you don't know how that shit's gonna come around.
Okay.
I have crossed the second and third path with so many people in this industry. Like me and you have been connected 3 different times in this industry. MedMen, another MSO, and on a license together. Right? Like, so like there's people that I've worked with in cannabis at least at 2 different companies or 3 different companies together. And it's just like, oh, do you know so? Oh, yeah, I know that person. Oh, yeah, we worked it. It's super like just insular in that regard.
Like, here's the thing, like it's not even just the MSOs, like, you know, because I know there's a lot of hate on them, and that's sure fine. But like it's not even just MSOs, like especially, you know, you see it in Jersey, you see it in Cali and other markets, but like there's a lot of trade groups, there's a lot of different groups and events and organizations that people get involved in, sessions that people go to, and so yeah, it is.
There's a culture behind it.
Yeah, there's a culture.
It's a whole subculture.
You know, like you said, it's just one. There's that whole 6 degrees of separation is like, I feel like a lot closer in cannabis, but
yeah, it's true. Well, I hope that culture that's really been, I mean, it existed already, but I think the legal market is really trying to usher in a stronger culture that, you know, we have all these sort of outlets, people who like the podcast, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Definitely.
Hit the bell.
I hope that they all show up and show out on Saturday.
I appreciate that. I hope they do too. Shit.
Yes, because
we need it.
The culture, I think the culture here is definitely being built, and it's getting stronger. And I think that there's a great support system amongst people.
Yeah,
you know, I definitely, you know, we want to support you. And
likewise,
yeah,
I fuck with what y'all are doing up here. Dude, I'm envious. I think you guys have some great stuff going on. Some great branding and marketing, and a lot of shit that we try to, you know, take from each other, right? Like a lot of, whether it's inspiration.
Oh, it's love. It's love.
I mean, like I'm trying to.
Me and Tom be talking like, "Hey, you got this?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I already looked at that. Yeah, I got this for you." It's like, "Yo, I got this for you." Like, you got to.
It's collaboration, right? Like, what's this? There's this thing I've been seeing going around a lot online lately. It's not a new thing, but like they say, competition happens at the bottom, collaboration happens at the top.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. To some extent, there's
that's
definitely
true.
a lot of truth to that. So.
Yeah. Yeah. People at the top are collaborating. They have to.
Yeah, particularly.
It's called the
them
Illuminati.
MSOs collaborating. We get that whole.
Please don't.
Yeah, it's official. Tom joined the Illuminati.
Oh God.
Big Trapper Tom. Third Eye Tom.
They made him into everything. Listen. Thank you so much for coming.
For sure. Appreciate y'all having me.
And for just being transparent and sharing your story, and just for always being so kind, man. You have such a warm spirit.
I try. I'm glad that comes across.
And I'm gonna come down there. I'm gonna visit my mama a couple towns over
I've been trying
and stop.
to get this man
He's
to
like
come
he
and see his
literally
mom.
calls
How
me.
many
He's like, you ain't visit your mom yet.
I'm
like, she came to my house. He's like, nah, fam. I'm like, all right, I gotta come around the corner.
He'll make his way down there.
I'm gonna be down there. He'd be like, because you know I'm right down here by your mom's house.
Right?
Come visit.
Nah, but what happened?
Yeah.
Nah, I'll be down there. Opening. I'm out here.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's not even a question. So
yeah, we gotta go for sure. So tomorrow, enjoy your soft opening.
Appreciate
Saturday,
y'all.
There's no discounts. We need this
price.
money.
We'll see. There's maybe some surprises in store.
You get a free grinder with every purchase.
We need this bread.
Hey,
There's no discounts.
People be doing that, so
It's expensive out here.
crazy industry.
Listen. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. Do good. Get high. Be
well. Peace, God.
He's getting better. Peace.